Speaker, I appreciate that my friends on the other side of the aisle want to refight the timber battles of the last 40 years here tonight on the floor.
Damn straight we're going to refight those timber battles of the last 40 years on this floor. That's why we're here today.
We do want to relitigate the last 40 years. We do want to revisit the questionable choices that we made before. And we want to encourage and bring back to this state as much of the industry that we killed 40 years ago as humanly possible.
This is people's lives. This is people's livelihoods. This is the livelihood of entire towns. And like I was talking about in my last speech, when these towns break down, you're not just losing some timber jobs, you're closing bowling alleys. You're closing community stores. You're making it so you'll never pass another school levy, and even if you do, the land values are so low it won't matter.
It is incumbent on us as the representatives of the citizens of this state to do all we can to mitigate the economic damage that this program, which by the Department of Natural Resources' own reckoning is unlikely to save the bird, does to the people, the fathers and mothers and children of the small towns in Southwest Washington.
We're tired of our best export in rural Washington being our kids, but it's the truth. We're sending our kids out of our communities because they can't find jobs, because we can't do simple amendments to bills that look at the economic impact that a marbled murrelet has.
I'm a cop in South Seattle. I deal with some of the highest drug use areas in the state, but they're not the highest drug use areas in the state. Those are reserved for rural Washington. Opioid use is higher in rural Washington than any other part of the state on a per capita basis. I was in 6th grade when Weyerhaeuser's #1 mill closed. Those were my friends, mothers and fathers that lost their jobs. This is real. And this bill sucks.
I've got a wall that's dedicated to the history of the state of Washington and my district, and it's the timber industry. And I gotta tell you, I now represent a district that, not unlike Seattle and how Seattle was founded on timber, but I represent a district that's turned into a depressed, drug-addicted, family-challenged, high unemployment, broken families, it breaks my heart. Because it wasn't that long ago when those families were thriving, those communities were thriving, those people had incomes, the schools were doing great, those communities were just bustling with energy. And this body, a generation before us, made some decisions that crushed that. If this body had not stood up for certain industries that are keeping the urban parts of our state alive, what would have happened to aerospace? What would have happened to high tech and the communities on the west side of the state if this entire body had not worked together? Please understand, we are with you. Will you please be with us?